So, good morning, all. Today, we will start with the module 2 with the first topic, architecture of the 8086 microprocessor. This is very important topic. If you going for the programming of the 8086, before that you must need to understand the architecture of the 8086. Students, this lecture is going to be a little bit lengthy, but you have to stick with the lecture because this is very important for your further understanding. Okay, so let's start. So first we'll give the brief overview of the features. What are the features of the 8086 microprocessor? Actually, we have already learned these features and all these things in the last lectures, but still we will see it. So it is a 16-bit microprocessor because it has the data bus of 16-bit. So we can say it as a 16-bit microprocessor. 8086 has a 20-bit address bus, can access up to the 2 raised to 20 memory location, that is 1 MB. So it has the 1 MB of the data and it can has the 20-bit address. It can support up to 64 input output ports. Then it provides the 16 and 14-bit registers. Word size is 16-bit. It has multiplexed address and data bus AD0 to AD15 and A16 to A19. It requires single phase clock with 33% duty cycle and it provides internal timing. Okay, so I will explain you all the things in the coming lectures. You just have to understand these concepts or features in your mind. Now 8086 is designed to operate in two modes, maximum and minimum. It can prefetch up to 6 instruction bytes from memory and queue them in order to speed up instruction execution. It requires 5V power supply, a 14-pin dual inline package, address range from 0000H to FFFFFH. Memory is a byte addressable, every byte has a separate address. Now, might be you understand some point or you might not understand the some point, but at the end of the lecture, I hope you again come to these two slides again, and I hope and I will sure guarantee that you will understand each and every point. Okay, so let's start with the architecture of 8086. Okay, so in the internal architecture, might be in the previous lecture I explain you the functional blocks of the microprocessor. Now I'm in this lecture we are going to learn the internal architecture of the 8086. Now the architecture of the 8086 is divided into two blocks, that is BIU and EU, that I will show you in the diagram. The BIU handles all transactions of the data and addresses of the buses for execution unit, and the BIU perform all bus operations such as the instruction fetching, reading and writing operands for memory and calculating the addresses of the memory operands. The instruction bytes are transferred to the instruction queue, and execution unit executes the instruction from the instruction system byte queue. Okay, now I will not waste more time on this. I will directly go to the diagram and then you will understand the meaning of these things. Okay, so I will explain you all these things in the next slide. Okay, so this is very important slide of the internal architecture of the 8086. Now you can see here is the BIU unit and here is the execution unit. So upper part from the middle dotted line, the upper part is called as a BIU, that is a bus interface unit, and upper part from the dotted line it is called as a execution unit. Okay, so now first we are going to learn the bus interface unit, that is the upper unit. Okay, first we are going to learn the upper unit. Now you can see there, before going to the BIU, you can see here there are two, every diagram or every block it is in a square, or you can say it is in a rectangular. Okay, but you can see there are only two blocks here and here. These are some different structure. Now these structures are called as a mathematical, we can say there is a mathematical operation we can perform when we have to need the, or we have to perform the mathematical operations, then there should be a such a blocks can be used. So we are going to perform some operations here as well as in this both the units. Okay, so you can see there are two different structures, okay, here and here. Now we will start with exactly the now we are exactly start with the our interface, or we can say architecture of the 8086. Now before going to the architecture, I will tell you we are using in 8086 there is a pipelining structure. So might you learn this pipelining structure, or we can say the pipelining concept in the 8086. Now in the 8085 there is, you can just execute one instruction. After the completion of the execution of the one instruction, then you can fetch the another instruction, right? And again that instruction get completed after execution, then you can again fetch the another instruction. So what happen, it will be the very time consuming process, because first instruction is executed and then you can execute the, or you can fetch the another instruction. So in the 8085 it is some time consuming process, but now in 8086 there is a very advanced, we can say, or some extra features they have inbuilt, that there is a some instruction system byte queue. At that time what happen, as soon as there is a instruction is executed, at the same time the previous, or you can say the next instruction can be fetched. Okay, are you getting what I'm saying? At the same time when the instruction is executed, at the same time there is a next instructions are fetched. That is called as a pipelining. Okay, so it is another big topic that I will explain you later, but you just keep in the mind what is a pipelining. Okay, now we will go with this. Now you can see here we will start from this block. Okay, so now there is a ES, CS, SS, DS and IP. Okay, so these are nothing but the registers. Okay, these are nothing but the registers. Now there is, in your question there will be mind what exactly these registers are. Okay, so I will take you in the another slide. Okay, I will check it, where is that slide? Okay, here is that slide, that is nothing but the physical memory. I will explain you first this physical memory, and then you will understand what are these CS, DS, ES and SS. Okay, so that CS is nothing but a code segment. Okay, just a minute. Okay, that CS is nothing but your code segment, DS is a data segment, ES is a extra segment, and this stack is nothing but fourth is a stack segment. This is nothing but the memory of a 64 kilobyte, right? This 64 kilobyte, that is having some address at the top. It is also having some address at the top. This is also having some address. This is also having some address. Now this code segment, okay, this code segment stores only a code. Okay, this code segment in the memory stores only the code, and this data segment, extra segments are stored the data, right? Now what happened exactly, this is having some internal, or say the starting address. This is also having some starting address, and this starting address, okay, this starting address is stored in this ES, CS, SS and DS. Are you getting what I am saying? This is nothing but the code segment, stack segment, data segment and extra segment. So this address of that data segments, or we can say the segments, are stored here. That data, or we can say that memory is not stored here, only the address of that segments. I hope you are understanding what I am saying. Only the address of that segments are stored in those register, not exactly those segments. Okay, now what is this IP? IP is nothing but the instruction pointers. Okay, again we will go into that slide. Now you can see here, here is the code segment, data segment and extra segment, that is having the 64 KB everyone. Now again if you want to fetch the some internal information from this code segment. Okay, suppose if you want to access some internal information from this segment, then what, there is again there is a some addresses inside the code segment. Okay, so first I will say there is a one main address and inside that another address. So that another address, or you can say the offset address, that is called as a offset address. That's offset address is called as a instruction pointer. Okay, so that instruction pointer hold the address of that code segment's offset. Okay, I hope you understand what is exactly these blocks. Now these ESCS are stored the address of the segments, and this last IP store the address of the, this IP store the address of the offset. Okay, so instruction pointer say store the address of point that offset. Now what is happen exactly? Now you can see here, this is some mathematical or operational, some there is a calculation is needed. So for that purpose, now what happen, suppose if you want to fetch the instruction, okay, suppose this instruction is going to fetch towards the execution unit. Now what happen, it send the address, right? It send the address, or how it can calculate the address of that instruction? It calculate the address by how, that is nothing but, or you can say the address of that code segment. So it will calculate the address of the code segment, okay, into multiply with 10, okay, into h, okay, in hexa, in 10 plus instruction pointer address. So there is some mathematical calculation where in this point. So what is this? Is nothing but, again you can keep in mind, that is nothing but, first it gives the code segment, okay, in the code segment again multiply with a 10 hexa or plus instruction pointer. Suppose I will say the code segment address is 1000 multiply with a 10, that is 10,000, and IP, that is instruction pointer address, is 500. So what happen exactly, what it sends to the on this data bus, or sorry the address bus, it sends the 10,500. okay, so that is nothing but the address of that instruction, or you can say that code segment. Now when that address where is that code segment, then what happen, then this instruction is fetched to the this block. I hope you understand here into the BIU in the first section. Now we will go towards the instruction, we will move to the instruction stream byte queue. Now this is nothing but the 6 byte, okay, this is a 6 byte of data. Now we can say it is stored the instruction or only a 6 byte. So it stores only a 6 byte because maximum instruction of 6 bytes. So it can store the 2 instruction, 3 instruction, or 1 instruction. Okay. Now through the address, through the data bus, the instruction is carried toward this 6 byte. When the current instruction is executed, now while executing that instruction, they will fetch the previous, or say we can say the next instruction in this 6 byte, right? What I am telling, are you understanding? When there is a instruction is executed, then next instructions are fetched in this 6 bytes of instruction. Okay. Now what happen, whenever the next instruction is going to executed, then next instruction is fetch from this 6 bytes of data. Okay, this 6 bytes of data, or you can say the 6 byte of instruction set. Now it gives the instruction to this control system. Okay, the next instruction is to be executed, that signal is given to that control system. Now what this control system does, this send the control to all the direction. Okay, this send the control to the all directions. All direction means towards the BIU unit, to the this execution unit, this arithmetic unit, operands, everywhere. Okay. Now what happen, This control system sent the instruction to all the sites. Now we'll going towards the execution unit. Okay, now what happened here? When the execution is over, now it will fetch the instruction. This unit is okay. This unit fetch the instruction from the memory, and this after the fetching the memory through the data bus, it goes to the queue, and after sending the queue, it goes to the control unit. I hope you understand till the BIU unit. So we will see this BIU unit again in the coming slides. Now the bus interface unit, you can see here the 6th byte of instruction queue. This is nothing but the 6th byte of instruction queue. What it does, it fetch the instruction is to be executed. Okay, so the next instruction that should be executed, that is fetched and stored in these 6 bytes. Okay, so you cannot say 6 instruction, it is a 6 bytes of data. So might be the few instructions should be 2 bytes, 3 bytes, so then that can be stored. But you can see if there is a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if there is a 6 is blank or 6 is empty, then it is it fetch the next instruction. No, when there is a 2 blocks are empty, 6 and 5, means there are 2 bytes are empty, then and then only it will execute the, or it will fetch the next instruction. Okay, now these are the segment register. I told you these are nothing but the segment register, so it hold the address of the segment memory. Now the instruction pointer, last one is the instruction pointer. It set the address of the offset. Okay, it is set the, it store the address of the offset, that is nothing but where it is in the code segment, and the address summing block. So this is how sum the address that I told you, the code segment multiply by 10 plus instruction pointer. Okay, so that is what the total address. Now the BIU use the mechanism known as the instruction stream queue to important to pipeline architecture, that I already explained you in the coming in the diagram that I have just written in the slides for your sake of understanding. Okay, so we can save the time. So the queue permits prefetch of the 6 bytes of the instruction code. Whenever the queue of the BIU is not full, it has room for at least 2 more bytes, and at the same time the execution unit not requesting it to read or write the operands from the memory, the BIU is free to look ahead in the program by prefetching the next sequential instruction. Okay, so it can, when it's or it can empty the 2 blocks in the 6 bytes, then it will fetch the next instruction. Okay, so that's why I have told you whatever I have explained you. So one more important, that is not a, there is only a queue. Okay, it is a queue, not a stack. Okay, so what is there? Here is a queue, not a stack. Why it is not a stack? Because stack is first in, last out. Okay, so what it is, a first in, last out. So it is program will go in a reverse manner, so this is not work out. So we will take in here the queue is nothing but first in, first out. So whatever the first instruction come, it will come out. Okay, again the next instruction, it will come out. For that purpose we are taking the queue, and that instruction are carried by using the data bus, because the data bus is having the 16-bit. Okay, so that carried by the 16-bit, or the data is carried by the data bus. Okay, so this is the segmented memory that I already explained you, that nothing but the data segments, all the segments, and there are segments having the memory here, but only the address are stored in the processors. Okay, in the BI unit only the first address. Okay, only the first address. Okay, starting address of every is stored into that registers. This memory is not there, only the address of this store. I hope you understand. Okay, that what explain everything in that slides. The segment is an area that begins at any location which is divisible by 60. A segment may be located anywhere in the memory. Each of these segment can be used for specific function. Okay, so this is what nothing for your understanding, that I already explained you. Okay, the segment are code, data, extra and stack segments. The segment is a 64-byte block of memory. The 16-byte content of the segment register in the BIU actually point to the starting location of a particular segment. This is a very important statement. Okay, this is nothing but very important. Okay, this is a very important statement. So what, a 16-bit content of the segment register in the BIU actually point the starting location of the particular segment, right? Now what are the advantages of segment memory scheme? So I will explain you this segment memory totally in the another video. Okay, so we will not waste more time here. These are the segment registers, the code segment register, data segment registers, extra segment register, stock segment register. So these are nothing but the segment register that is in the BIU. Okay, so this is what they have explained each and everything of the CS, SS, DS and ES registers. Okay, the star. So this register contain the initial address of the code segment, and this address plus the offset value contained in the instruction point indicate the address of the instruction to be fetched for execution. So I have told you that suppose the code segment address is 1000, then multiply with the 10, so 10,000 plus suppose the instruction pointer address is 1000, so it will become 5 into 1000 into 10 multiply, that is nothing but 5000 plus 1000, so that is nothing but 5000 is nothing, 6000 is nothing but the your address of the instruction. Okay, now here is the BIU memory location, that is nothing but what, then again we will come towards against the same point. Okay, just a minute. So we are again come to the point here. So BIU segment registers. Okay, so this is nothing but the code, data, extra and stack segment register. So this is the 3A, BA0, these are the starting points. Okay, and these starting points are stored in where? In the BIU register. Okay, in the variable the BIU register, in that registers these starting address are stored. Okay, now this is nothing but the offset value. So that I explain you orally. Now here is some diagram that I will explain you how exactly that. So the offset value is from 0 to 15 byte, right? So how the exactly the address is become a 20 bit, right? So address is become a 20 bit. So how it is now, the offset value is 16 bit. Now the segment register is again a 16 bit, but okay, the address register is again a 20 bit segment register, and then after adding them there will be the 16 bit physical address. Okay, so it will get the physical location of the your instruction. So if you store the any file in the memory or in your PC, what you can do exactly, you can go to that folder and you can find that file. So that is nothing but the virtual address. Okay, but we cannot find the physical address, only the processor knows that physical address. So 20 bit physical address is stored into that particular location. Okay, so this is how they have the given the code segment. So in the code segment there is generation. So suppose there is a exit in the code segment, there is a store the code, or you can say the instructions. Okay, and inside that there is a offset values. Okay, there is nothing but the offset. So this is nothing but 8F before, that is the offset. So code segment, and we will take the address of each and every line by using the offset, that is nothing but the instruction pointer. Okay, so CS plus IP. Okay, so CS plus IP will become the your instruction address. Okay, they have shown here. Now example of the offset. So offset plus offset segment address and required address. So this is how they have shown in this diagram, that how exactly the physical address will become. So offset plus segment address and then equal to required address. Segment address register combination. So this is the, I will explain in the next topics or in the next lectures. Okay, now we are going towards our next, that is the execution unit. So decode the instruction fetched by the BIU. So what exactly it does? Now whatever the instruction is fetched from the BIU, now the execution unit does simply execute the that it execute that instruction. So by the control circuitry and instruction decoder and ALU, by using three combinations it will execute the instruction. Then you can see here is one block, okay, that is nothing but the, you can say, the registers or some programmer handle registers, okay. So program can handle or programmer can use that register. So here is AHAL, BHBL, CSCL, DHDL. So these are nothing but the exactly the 16-bit 4 registers, okay, 16-bit 4 register where the programmer can use. Suppose I take the instruction, suppose move BL, CL. So I want to move whatever in the CL into the BL. So before going that, so I will explain what is the BH and BL. So in a lower bit we can say the BL, and in the higher bits there is a BH. So similar for CL and DS. So it divides into 8 bits and 8 bits, okay. So they have just make the two partition. So upper bit AH, lower bit AL. So just BL, CL, DL and BH, CH and DS. So first, that is nothing but accumulator. If you want to do the operation on particular instruction, that is a base. If you want to make the counts and if you want to store the data, okay. So these are nothing but the accumulator, base, count and data. Now what is this pointers? Stack pointer, base pointer, source index and destination index, okay. So these are nothing but the stack, base, source and destination indexes. So remaining extra segments, data segments and stack segment, all these addresses, okay, all these addresses are stored in these registers, okay. So in the offset addresses are stored in those registers, okay. Now next, okay, so I will explain exactly what happened here. So what exactly the procedures happen here. So I will zoom it out, just a minute. Okay, so what happened? So whatever happened in the control system, you can see in the upper side there is a control system. So the signal, suppose I will take the move, suppose I will take the instruction add BL and comma CL. So I want to add two numbers. Then what happened? Then control system send the signal that there is a two operands, of course BL and CL, and that you have to execute them. Then what happened? That BL and CL which will find into the memory, okay. Now you can say the BL is equal to 5 and CL is equal to 4. Now this BL and CL will be fetched from this memory to the ALU unit, okay, at the two ends, okay. Suppose here from BL and CL, it will fetch at the two ends of this arithmetic unit, and then here is a 04 and 05. Then this arithmetic unit add them and produce the result, that is 9, okay. And this add instruction will given by this control unit. If you now this add 9, now where will be this 9? It will be floating anywhere in the data bus? No, again it will stored into the BL, okay. So if you again that stored into the data will store into the BL, so it will not fetch in the data. When you again show the BL, that you will be find the result of the that particular instruction, okay. So that I will explain you what is all these things. So these are nothing but the different registers, okay. That is called as a general purpose register, because general purpose means that the programmers can use those registers. He can save that data and he can remove, or you can do the different operations by using those registers. So word multiply, word divide, word input output, that is nothing but the AX, okay. Byte multiply, byte divide, byte multiply, byte divide. So all these are nothing but I have shown here what is exactly the use of every registers, okay. The pointer and index register used to keep the offset addresses, of remaining three memories. So code segment store the instruction pointers, but remaining extra segment, stack segment, all those, and data segment. So the remaining three, there is having the offset addresses, and that is stored by those stack pointer, base pointer, and the source index registers and destination index registers. Okay, so you can read these slides because you don't have that much time, because I already explained you exactly what it stores. It stores the offset address of the remaining three blocks of the memory. Offset address means what? Inside the block, okay, inside the segment, okay, inside the segment, what is there? The address. Now, so you can see the last point. So last block is that, so there is operands and flag. Now what the operand does? So operand is store the, or it can be for the operand is for only storing the temporary values. Suppose there is exchange, suppose there is a, we can say the exchange instruction. So exchange bx cx. So what happen when you going to store the cx into bx? So where will be the bx? So bx will be stored in that temporary register, and that bx will give to the cx. So we can exchange the values, okay, for the temporary storage, or that registers can be used. Okay, now the flag register. So the flag register can be used to store the flag values. So that is nothing but it store the current status of the result. Okay, it stores the current status of the result. Okay, so 6 of the flags are a status indicator reflecting the properties of the last arithmetic or logical instruction. For example, if register AL is equal to 7FH and the instruction add AL1 is executed, then the following happens. So they have given the sequence here exactly what happened. Okay, so what flag register stored which value. Okay, so AL ATH CF is equal to 0, there is no carry out of pet 7, then PF 0, then ATH has an odd number of ones, AF is equal to 1, there is a carry out of bit 3 into bit 4, ZF is equal to 0, then result is not 0. So SF is bit 7 1 and bit 7 change. Okay, so this is nothing but when the carry is generated, then the flag register set will be 1. Okay, so it like that when you have to set these values. Now I will give the summary of the registers pipeline of 8086 microprocessor. This video will become very lengthy, that is nothing but almost half an hour. So execution unit, I will give the short summary. In the execution, sorry, in the BIU unit, what happened? The address in the BIU unit, the address of the instruction is generated. Okay, and when you fetch that instruction, it is goes to the queue. Okay, 16-byte queue, that is nothing but the pipelining. Okay, after generation of the instruction, after generating the or you can say the fetching the instruction from the memory, it will goes to the pipelining. So in the pipelining, what happen, or you can say in the queue, so next instruction to be executed, which is stored into the 6 bytes of the queue. After that 6 bytes of queue, they are given to the control unit. So control unit, sorry, they are given to the control unit. In the control unit, it is decode. Okay, in the control unit, it is decode. Decode means what operation should be performed on that instruction is to be done in the control unit. Okay, suppose if you want to add, then the control unit decide, yes, it will send the signal to all the direction that the instruction come to add. Then it will store the data or into the AL, BL, or you can say the general purpose registers. Now you can fetch the data from that and you can store the data in that register. Now after that AL, BL, so it can fetch the instruction and given to the ALU. Now ALU perform which operation to be done. Okay, suppose there is arithmetic or logical operations, add, subtraction, multiply, division, anything that perform into the ALU. Now again, who told ALU to which operation to be performed? Again this control unit. Okay, again this control unit told the ALU that there is a add operation and then you can perform it. Okay, now this SP, BP, SI, DI, these are nothing but the offset addresses of the remaining 3 blocks of the memory, that is data, stack segment, data segment, and extra segment. The code segment is already here in a IP. Okay, now this is nothing but the whole overview of your BIU and AU, that is nothing but the architecture of 8086. So I missed so many things that I am going to tell you in the coming lectures, okay, but due to the time limit I have explained you the instruction of the 8086. So thank you very much. So might be in this lecture my speed is too much high, but I have to cover the so many things in the limited time, so that's why. So if you have any queries, you can message me or call me anytime. So thank you very much.